Good morning. We've released the brakes, we're pulling all stops, and we're going to say welcome and hi. Good morning, Saturday morning marketing Smarties.
Release the brakes, we're
Hang
pulling
on a
all
second.
stops, and we're going to say welcome and
As usual, I have myself monitored in several different browsers. You know, when I'm looking at my computer, I think, oh my God, I've got 5 browsers open, 25 tabs there, 3 there, 7 tabs over there. And I'm just like, any moment that my computer with 8 gigs of RAM is just going to say, I quit and shut down, and then I'll have to restart, and then you guys will be running this hangout by yourselves. And so anyway, that very well could happen. You never know. But we'll try to keep it together as we produce this show for you. Good morning. My name is Roland from Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. I think I'm known better for that than I am Internet Mobile or R&D Hotline, but that's okay with me. As long as you're watching the show, I don't care. We're saying hi to several people out in the comment stream who've been around for a while, commenting even before the show started. And we'll say hi to Weewake, he's out there, and Bill Graham, and Lowell Ann Fulsang was there too. So they're out there commenting among the rest, and we're going to be commenting and chatting and talking about Hangouts and various things. But with me today, we have some people, and as usual, my sidekick and co-host, Molly Youngblood Geiger. You want to say hi to everybody, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Molly. I'm located in Jacksonville, Florida. The name of my agency is Design Right For You, and I'm super excited about the topic this morning.
Cool. And with us today, we have a special guest, and his name is Vinay Hiremath. And I reached out to Vinay because he's got something that perhaps everybody in Hangouts is going to want to understand and know and possibly use. Say hi, Vinay, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Vinay, like Roland said. I'm the founder of a company called Opentest, and we provide a tool called OpenVid that allows you to record your screen, full desktop or tab, microphone, and front-facing camera. And then as soon as you're done recording, no matter how long that recording is, you have an instantly shareable URL you can shoot out to your team, your family, your friends, your colleagues, anybody. And my background, just a really quick overview because it's kind of long. Started as a software engineer, dropped out of college, interned at Facebook, went on to work at a couple of different startups, and now I'm here.
Wait a minute. You interned at Facebook?
Yes.
So I guess we could have a cup of coffee over that one. I would love to ask you some questions sometime, and we might have to do that. But what made you leave Facebook? Could I ask that? What made you leave Facebook? Was there not a viable future for you there?
Right. So actually, when I went to Facebook, it was kind of, I mean, there were multiple things going on. One was that a couple weeks before that, I was telling my conservative Indian parents that I was dropping out of school, which was already like a great thing to start the summer with. But then the second thing, so that was already in my head. The first thing that happened is when I looked out the plane windows, when I was coming into the bay, I noticed a bunch of mountains. And for me, that was really strange because I was like, whoa, there's actually mountains. I forgot those existed because I'm from Illinois and the entire state is super flat. The second thing that happened is this lady just stands up in the middle of the plane and is like, oh my God, Facebook IPO'd. And I had no idea what IPO meant. And all I knew was that Facebook was where I was going to work. But needless to say that summer was a really, really interesting kind of surreal experience. But Facebook was just a little too big for me. I wanted to drop out of school to really learn how to start my own company and get in at the early stages. So I ended up interviewing at a few different startups over the summer, and I ended up taking an offer with a much smaller startup.
Yeah, well, you're an entrepreneur, so Facebook, you know, if you want to join the ranks, that's one thing. So maybe a conversation to carry on for another moment or another day or another hangout. But before we continue on and really hit the concept of OpenVid and OpenTest really hard, I wanted to go back to Molly because we've been doing about a several month-long siege, if you will, basically negotiating this movement from Hangouts in Google Plus to Hangouts in YouTube. And we were like putting the nails in the coffin of the event page and the events connection. You know, we lost a lot of ground. We've been trying to look forward and create the new connectivity, the new way of handling Hangouts, the new way of connecting with our people and being engaged with the audience. And I'm not doing so much of like trying to grab more people right now. I'm really focusing on the system itself and making sure that it works. And once we know that it works, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to put most of my capital and in my investment of time into this concept, because this is the demonstration that we create that's going to help people around us when they're trying to figure out how do we do it. Because out in the marketplace, there are hundreds of thousands of ways to do it, and everybody will sell you theirs if you'll cough up the money. So we're focusing on Google Plus, we're focusing on Hangouts, we're focusing on YouTube, and all of these things as they fit together to get the best effect for small businesses and all businesses. So we're going to go to Molly right now and ask her what kind of good news you have, because she says she's made some discoveries that are very fresh off the press. Go ahead, Molly.
Yeah, so there's a few things going on. First and foremost, I know a hot topic with you and a lot of other Hangout hosts is the ability, since Hangouts has shifted from Google Plus to YouTube, that ability to interact with people via comments during the live Hangout. So I actually had a meeting yesterday with my Hangouts manager. So this is the actual community manager at Google, along with some other top contributors. And I asked her, I said, you know, what's going on with that? And I had mentioned you and a few other Hangout hosts that this was a real problem, because for Hangouts on air, we'd like to be able to interact in real time with the people who are visiting the Hangout on air. It was mentioned that they were aware of the situation. So the engineers are aware that a lot of people are not happy about that particular feature going away. So I let them know in no uncertain terms that we want that feature back. Is that they're going to be working on that. Another big thing coming up next week is the Google Partners Connect event. It's going to be a live broadcast from Google on September the 28th. It'll start around 9 a.m. Pacific time, usually lasts about 35 to 45 minutes. I'm super excited about it because the product manager of mobile is going to be hosting this one, and they're going to be talking about mobile. And so as business owners, if you have 35 minutes of your time to be able to watch it, I strongly encourage it. I'll drop the link over to Roland so he can post it to everybody, and I'll drop it over in the chat, in the unified chat as well. Another big thing going on this week, I am going to Google on the same day of the Hangouts. So I'm super excited. I'm going to actually get to meet my Hangouts manager and a lot of the top contributors for us in terms of new product knowledge. They actually shared some features coming out. Just real quick, one of the things that I can share with you is that the overall user design of Hangouts is being redesigned right now. So they're coming up with a different user interface. It was kind of a little more unified than it is now. They shared some extra buttons that they're going to be adding to Hangouts. So yeah, a lot of new features coming down the pipeline here in the next few months. So as they come out, I'll be sure and make everybody in the Smarties group aware of where we're going with that. But yeah, I'm super excited to learn about the video. Like we've talked about before, we try to share a YouTube video within a live Hangout. Because of the licensing issue, we can't. And so I'm really interested to find out more about this product and how it's going to be able to help us do just that, to be able, because I know I've actually tried sharing the Google Partners Connect event via Hangout, and I wasn't able to do it, which was kind of disappointing because it has some really great information. So I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about this afternoon and learning how I can use this for myself and my business.
So wouldn't that share that you were talking about be like sharing top secret information via a public media platform, though? I mean, like, how dare you, Molly?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's nothing like a user redesign. I mean, that's kind of expected. I mean, they shared other product knowledge that I'm not sharing with you because I'm not able to. But, something like saying, hey, they're going to redesign the way Hangouts looks. I mean, that's kind of, it's kind of par for the course. But one of the things I'm excited about is my manager actually shared with me that instead of all the Hangouts people going and huddling in a corner and talking about Hangouts like they normally do, this particular meetup, we've all been assigned other product top contributors. So we're actually going to be talking with other product top contributors on how can we mingle Hangouts and Google Docs, or how can we mingle Hangouts and AdWords, or how can we mingle Hangouts and analytics. So I'm really excited to see the brainstorming that's going to be going on next week. So
yeah, well, the first thing that occurs to me is that Hangouts is such a great teach connection. To actually use it as a classroom connection to broadcast or interact. You know, it's the different thing between broadcasting and interacting and engagement. And the thing that we love the most about Hangouts is the fact that it's a two-way street. And social media is a two-way street. And with so much of marketing is, as I call it, they're traveling the wrong way on a two-way street. They're going one way and they're bulldozing through. They're broadcasting and they're advertising, but they're not talking to their constituents. So Hangouts is really the opening door to a vast marketplace that will be discovered probably in the next decade. While we play with it now, we'll be looked at as the pioneers of streaming media, video, live interaction, engagement.
And one thing that I do know is that mobile and video are not going away. It's only going to increase. And recently Google has introduced 2 apps. One was called Duo. That's been out for a couple months now, and it's kind of, think of it like Facebook Video Messenger. So it's kind of a similar app, except it's for Hangouts. Another app that just came out this past week is Google Allo, which is a messaging app, but it's also a virtual assistant as well, meaning it's using artificial intelligence to help remind you about certain events. Something else that came out this week, just to let you know, is something called Google Trips, which I found very interesting, ironically, because I'm going on a trip next Wednesday, and I thought, hey, I should probably check this out. And the interesting thing about Google Trips is it actually goes out and it gathers all the information online about wherever you might be traveling to. And then let's say you're traveling to Spain and you're not going to have a Wi-Fi connection or a mobile data connection. And I've had people ask me this, well, what do I do? I don't have a data connection. So what this app does is it actually allows you to access your information because it downloads it onto your phone without having to use a Wi-Fi or mobile data connection. So I thought that was kind of neat that, when you're out and about and you need that information and you don't have a connection, this actually solves that problem for you, that you're able to access all your travel information right from your phone using Google Trips.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I wanted to add to that list of tools for mobile live streaming. If anybody's ever heard of Periscope, Periscope's like a great way to have an audience watch your dedicated mobile channel and stream that out and get likes and stuff like that. And it's actually owned by Twitter, which is like right down the street from me right here. And the guys there are just super bright and they're killing it.
That's very cool. Okay, well that's good advice for some folks who might be interested in that. And I think it's time to really hit the subject of why we are here today, because what we really want to know, Vinay, is what your product is, what the plans are for the future, and how we can use it best. And so I'll turn it over to you for a little tour and a little explanation of what your product is and all about it, huh?
Sure. Yeah, sure thing. So currently our product, OpenVid, is a it started as just a screen recorder. Just really quickly, did you want me to show you on my screen, like screen share and show you what it does?
Absolutely. And then of course I've got a screen share that we may incorporate later, but whatever you can show the people directly on the screen, that's what the video show is all about.
Cool. Let's do it then. All right. So can you guys see my screen? Okay, cool. Awesome. So I'm going to go to, let's say that I go to like Google and I want to share something that I'm showing a friend. So I would just click on this icon over here. Oh, I'm logged out right now. I forgot about that. I've been testing some of our new login stuff with our extension, so I keep logging out and logging back in.
Okay. The other thing I was going to say, Vinay, is let's take our time with this, because a lot of people will have some trouble seeing movement and seeing what exactly you are doing, and they're going to say, "Wait a minute, what did he do? Where did he click?" and so forth. So please take your time, and just like we're a bunch of babies learning how to hold the rattle, you know, and just take your time and go ahead and show us what you have.
Sure thing, sure thing. So say I'm on Google. Can everybody see google.com right now?
Yeah, and we can see your mouse cursor. As
Awesome.
long as we're not vision impaired.
Awesome. Nope, not at all. I'm vision impaired. My entire family is, so I know everything about that. But if I want to show somebody something that I'm doing on google.com right now, I can just click this icon over here. And what happens is this countdown shows up. And when this countdown reaches 0, the recording starts. I can pause the countdown and I can play with my settings down here. So if I want to capture the entire desktop, I can click on that and capture any screen, any individual window, just to show you what that looks like. It's very similar to Hangouts, where you can capture different types of screens. I can select cam only, so that way I can create a recording of just my face, which is what you see down here. I can change microphone sources. I can change camera sources. I can pause the recording in the middle of the recording and resume it if I want to type in some sensitive information, something like that. And I can move my camera circle around and even close the camera circle if I'd like to. And the cool thing about this is when it's recording, it's also uploading to our servers. So as I'm recording right now, it's uploading at the same time. So no matter how long this recording is, I'm just going to type something in, large video files. No matter how long this recording is, as soon as I'm done recording, this video is instantly ready to be shared out to people. It's already hosted on our website. Other people can access the video, and other people can consume that content. So if I click the end recording button, which is the same button I used to start the recording, it will open up a new tab with this video over here, and I can edit the title, Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. And there we go. It's already copied to my clipboard, so I can now share this out in the comments section, and people instantly have a video they can watch.
It's very cool. One thing that we might back up a bit, because as you just first got started, there was a countdown going on, and you said you can pause that, but it took me about 15 minutes to figure out how to pause the video, and I think maybe an explanation of how to pause it would be a good thing, because that's the first thing that happens. You've got 3 seconds, and you've got to stop the countdown right there during those 3 seconds, and then you can maneuver all you want and set yourself up and get it all set. But you got to be on the starting block.
I think, just to be like 100% honest, I mean, since I'm the guy building it and I'm also one of the product guys, I think that I'll probably end up getting rid of that countdown. At first, it was a good case of we have several ways that our users reach out to us in order to tell us what they want. Because we're not a big organization like Google, like we don't have managers. We have a team of 3 people, soon to be 4, hopefully. And we basically just try to give people several ways to be able to contact us. And one of those ways is a feature board. And one of our most requested features was, before, when you clicked on that extension, it instantly began recording, which was way too jarring of an experience for people. They were just like, I did not expect it to start recording. Please give me a countdown. But I think this is like one of those cases where you shouldn't take what your users are asking for seriously. You should always think about, what is the problem that they're experiencing that you want to solve? And the problem for them is just giving them time to just know that they want to start the recording as soon as they're ready, right? So I think that a better solution would probably be a giant circle that says click to start. And you have an unlimited amount of time to just play around with your settings, and as soon as you're ready to start recording, you can click that, and it does like a small countdown so you can get ready for a little bit longer, but you actually click to initiate that countdown.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like the equivalent of the green room effect with the Hangouts, where you can join in, you can talk about it, you can get all set, make sure you're all together, make sure everyone knows the protocols of the procedures. So if you're a solo, I don't know who this is. So I've never had this happen in the Smartie show. So let's see who this is. Moon, who are you? Oh, okay. That was a very interesting experience. I was about to ban the guy anyway, but somehow he got the link to the green room, and who knows how. But anyway.
Oh, so, sorry, I wasn't supposed to share that online publicly.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Anyway, that's a good thing though, is be able to pause the video to start so that you can experience all the different possibilities. And when you start looking at the tools, you see all these different things that you can do. But the reason that I was caught by this whole thing was it's so easy. You click the button and you pause the thing, and then you set it up the way you want, and then you're recording as soon as you want to. And it was one of the most instantaneous recordings of screen share or a screen capture that I've ever experienced. And it was pretty decent. Now I really like, who is this guy?
Moon Party.
Does anybody know who this guy is? Let's see. Hang on a second.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to kick him out. So we'll see if he can come back now that he's gone. So, wow, interesting things happening. We just passed a full moon and an equinox and an eclipse all in the same week. So something weird's bound to happen, you know. That's okay. I'm not superstitious. I'm really making jokes. But it really is. Oh, I accidentally turned Molly's mic off, so I don't want to master control her mic off. Or I see. You're controlling that. Okay. Anyway, back to what we're doing here. The attributes that you have for OpenVid they're really, really cool. And what I saw happening for my purposes was I could be explaining to somebody how to do something in Hangouts or how to do something in the internet or whatever it was that they're something with videos, and I could be showing them what I'm sharing on my screen, and I could be right there in the lower left-hand corner as a live person. I thought of using it for that. I also thought of using it for responding to emails from new people who have not experienced me yet, and they've reached out, and I'm responding to an email. I could actually create an answer in video and say, here I am in the video in the lower left-hand corner, and say, thank you for reaching out to me, and I wanted to show you a little bit about what I do, and here's an answer to your question, and I hope that this solves the issue that you had in mind. And then literally embed that in a Gmail or send them the link to watch a video in response to their email. So that kind of short circuits something that's prevalent nowadays, and that's an email is responding to an email. You're still not quite connecting with the person. But when you send a video, it becomes that much more impactful. And people don't expect it. So anyway, any comments regarding those couple of ideas that I have?
I have a couple comments regarding that. So real case scenario, I'm using my accounting software, and I have a question. I'm not sure how to send out an invoice a certain way, and so I contact the toll-free number, and we go through the spiel, and that's all fine and dandy. But like you're saying, when you talk to somebody, it's a little different than actually looking and watching how a problem is solved. And so, ironically, email, and guess what was on it? A link to a video on how to do what it was I was trying to accomplish. And I thought, wow, that's really smart, because not only did I have a visual representation of how to solve the problem I had, but I'm thinking, I have this forever now. So if I ever need to answer this question again, all I have to do is go play the video. And it was one of those things, it was like a unique way to send an invoice, and unusual way, and it's something I'd never thought to do. But when you can take something like video and apply it towards teaching somebody how to solve a problem, then I think that right there shows the importance of using video. And additionally, thinking just outside the box, what if you're a consumer and you're in a store or you're online and you're shopping and you have a question about a product? Wouldn't it be nice if you could click a link and be able to ask a question and then send you a video back? Hey, this is information about this product. If you have any additional questions, feel free to contact us via video chat, so you can actually talk with a real live representative. So I think those are a couple of different applications personally I see happening. And going back to the Google Duo app, that's the whole reason why they created it, is they want people to literally just be able to get on video and chat. And so I think the software that we're talking about, where you can go in, create this video, pause it, create clickable links that you can share with your audience, or even share with customers, or maybe potential customers. Maybe you've got somebody on your website and they want to learn more about what it is they can do for your business. I think this is an excellent way of representing a business using video.
Right. I mean, there's a lot going on. I just wanted to chime in on a few different aspects. One is, yeah, I mean, like regarding what Roland was saying, I mean, we personally, us three on the team, we have been using this tool for pretty much everything. I mean, we used it to raise funds to keep our company afloat. We've used it, I've used it to save face when I had to cancel on a date. I literally use it for almost everything. Seriously, even messages within emails with like just the front-facing camera, because you can take front-facing camera recordings too. Right now, I'm doing this kind of hacky way where I drag and drop the. I think Roland went out for a sec, but there he is. Even like dragging and dropping the image and then linking to the video in the email is like something that I do often. So if I'm doing like sales emails, or if I'm back and forth with a customer, trying to show them how to do something, like you guys said. Now to talk about what Molly was talking about, something that's interesting with we have a lot of people using our product for customer service, and the way I like to think of it is, what I always like to think of, okay, what's like the best customer service, right? So the best customer service is always somebody being there in person with another person and them talking through a problem that they're having, and that real-time communication of them being able to solve something, right? And I mean, like, if you look at like the way that things are trending with people's attention spans and people just being like overloaded on information, I think that there's a real need and a real market for people who want to be able to have full context, but might not necessarily have the luxury of being there in person right then and there, and so it's awesome that there's these tools that are trying to solve that by getting people to respond in real time. I think that's like honestly the ideal scenario. But when it comes to a back and forth between two people who just have busy lives and have a bunch of stuff to do, but still need to get this problem solved, being able to do that video back and forth is awesome. So I mean, Molly being able to get a video is amazing, but if she has additional problems, being able to respond with the video, that's kind of what we're going for. And we're going to be building out ways for people to comment on our videos at specific timestamps. stuff like that. And then one last thing I'll address here is Vivek in the comment section. I think he was talking about sending a video link using email is still problematic. I'm only reading it out in case somebody's watching the YouTube video and can't see the comments. Sending a video link using email is problematic. Most antiquated email spam filters send all emails with attachments and links straight to spam folders. Although that might be true, I would say that if you are using an email system where your links and attachments are sending all of your emails to spam folders, at least for me, like I find that to be like a huge problem. I mean, you have so many links within emails these days, just even links, that I feel like 90% of my email would probably be sent to spam if my spam filter was that aggressive. But I just thought I would address that over air just to see what he has to say on his way back, and maybe talk about that later when he gets back to me.
Yeah, we have a testimony coming up in a second with Molly, but I wanted to comment what you were discussing there and say regarding the interaction with messaging and the call center stuff. What is the possibility of you ever expanding out to a two-way conversation recordable within the screencast concept?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a real possibility that will happen down the road. For now, our main focus is we call it like asynchronous video communication. So basically a video messenger on your desktop, just because that's like the easiest. Everything that we want to do definitely involves people being able to talk together in real time, that two-way connection that you're talking about. I mean, like right now we record all of our meetings too. So no matter how long the meeting is, we just hit record and we leave a laptop in a meeting room if any of us are meeting with someone. But I mean, in the fullness of time, we'd like to get there, but a good go-to-market strategy in capturing the most people on our platform is kind of this asynchronous need to be able to record video when people aren't there in person, or need to hand something off to somebody when they can't be there in person. But I mean, to answer your question, yeah, definitely. I think that we'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to have it be a keyboard shortcut. You get a link, you send it out to your friend, you guys are talking, and it's recording.
Yeah, this is really great stuff because, basically it's like Hangouts and OpenVid merge, eventually. But right now we're dealing with two specifically different needs that are distinctive to the platforms. But when you're in a Hangouts environment and you can add on the various tools that we have described that you are offering, I think that there's a real power involved in the doubling up and using the both things. And in today's world, we want to be immediate. We want to be right now. We want to be live. And we are becoming more and more live from all over the world. Like we're in 3 different places on the continent, and we're talking together in real life, and we're talking with 5 people in the chat room, hammering back and forth along with us all at the same time. And that's magical. But in the real world, even the typed chat, when I'm doing that, if I have 3 to 5 people going on, I can't respond to all of them at once. Somebody's got to wait, so it's about organizing my time in order to be efficient with each individual contact. And this seems to be a really highly impactful way to be efficient and yet to be as present as we can be, and allow the other person to digest the information and to claim the information when their schedule is right, not when you have to insist on being live. So there's a real magic to this. It's like, putting everybody in time slots and digesting and organizing and being efficient. I really like the sound of that. Molly, we're way away from it, but it's your turn. Come on in.
Okay. I just wanted to go back to what Vinay was talking about, being able to have a real-time one-on-one conversation. So a few weeks ago, I was out at Southeast Toyota doing a training session for Google Docs. And after the training session, one of the techs said, well, is there any way to use one of these to be able to talk to somebody at headquarters if we're out? Because they go to dealerships and they're dealing with all kind of automotive problems. And at the time, with Google Docs, there's not really any way to video chat with anyone. But that particular question, this would be a great product for them. So literally, they could be at the dealership working on a vehicle. Okay, what's wrong with this vehicle? We have a problem here, and be able to contact somebody, one of the techs or the tech managers at their headquarters, and say, hey, we have this problem. We need to show you what's going on with this vehicle. So I think in terms of customer service and being able to apply the same tool within a business organization like a corporation, where if they have that instant need, oh, I got to check with my manager, I have to ask him a question, or I have this scenario going on in front of me, I need to show it to you. I think this tool would be a great resource for a company like that, because they then literally, they could, start the video, share it with somebody at headquarters, and have them actually look at, well, what's the problem with this vehicle? Let's work on it together, which is a great way to collaborate with somebody via video chat to solve a problem. So I just wanted to throw that story out there that, that right there is a live case where this product would help somebody in real time problem solving.
Very cool. Very cool. I like that example. Thank you. I was reading the comment stream, and maybe we want to make this a bit bigger discussion. I don't know. But Vinay, you were answering a question or a statement by Bill and discussing the concept of appear-in as compared to, or as an adjunct with OpenVid. And I think they've got a really good point. Did you want to comment at all about that, or is that way off the subject?
No, not at all. Yeah, it seems like Bill was referring to, he does meetings on appear.in, and he wanted to know if he could record the session. And the answer is yes. You can record anything that happens on your screen with our tool, which kind of tying that into like marketing. There's so many, since we're on a marketing show, there's so many people in marketing that are using our tool right now, and they're using it for various reasons. One is actually managing content that you show users on your websites, and being able to swap that out easily is something that we're going to be building as well in the future. So the recording of the Bill wants to record R4. But in the future, a huge use case for marketing experts is to be able to swap those product tutorials out really quickly, or swap out different video materials without needing an engineer to do it. So that's kind of something that we're thinking about too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was getting involved with the chat stream, and
yeah,
I just
no worries.
lost on the thing here. I wanted to
quick comment. In terms of what he was just talking about, video marketing is going to be big in the next few years. In fact, Google Brand Labs has said that they expect video marketing to go up by 74%. So when you have tools like this extension that's free, it's a great resource for a business owner. It's going to give marketers and business owners the opportunity to use video more and more. And when I talk about video, the reason I mentioned why it's so important is because of mobile, because more and more people are using their mobile device to actually work. I don't know about you, I'm on my phone probably 4 hours a day working from my phone. And when I know that there's an extension like this available to me, I could be doing a demo, or like hosting a Google Partners Connect event, and just go, hey, join us for our live Google Partners Connect event, put it out there in social media marketing. That's a great way right there to take that video and use it to market your products or your services.
Right, 100%. And to kind of talk about the mobile case, you were talking before somebody at like a car manufacturing center or like a body shop. I kind of have this, every now and then, I think everybody who makes a product has like a dream of like how somebody uses their product. And I have this one dream of, if you guys have ever heard of SpaceX, it's this company that's building rockets. They build suborbital and orbital launches, and their goal is to get humanity to Mars by 2020. Sorry, not by 2020, by 2030, I believe. And they do such amazing work, and I just have this dream of like a guy who is looking at schematics on his iPad and like building something on a rocket, and then he has to tell his coworker about something that he's seeing, and he uses his iPad to like record what he's seeing, and they're talking about it in real time. And not necessarily with our tool either, just in general, people communicating within an org with zero ambiguation, without zero ambiguity. Like all context is available to people to communicate. That's one of my dreams, like to be able to take out all ambiguity from conversations, especially within organizations.
Wow. We might have to do some major brain adjusting before we can participate in a stream like that, but maybe so. Anyway, this is igniting a great field of discussion here, and I think that recording, having these conversations is one thing, recording them is another, and it seems to me that your concept is a patchwork that can be used for multiple things, even in the video conversation concept. That's really pretty profound that we're able to do that. But the ability to do the screen capture as easily and as proficiently as we can with your OpenVid at Opentest, to me that was really worth having this show and talking about that. So one of the things that occurred to me, and let me know if this is too much to move on to right now, but we in the YouTube video world and the Hangout world have had this perpetual problem for years about not being able to play a video live when we're doing a live broadcast and recording a live show. So here we are in a Hangout right now, and if I wanted to show a YouTube video, I couldn't do it. I could not play a YouTube video because they are basically, fundamentally, and by definition, protected under the arrangements that YouTube has devised to protect against lawsuits and copyright infringement. So I'm stepping on the edge of a cliff right now, but I do know that I recorded a video in your services, in your application. So this is saved on your server, and I did it myself, and I would want to play it live now and see what the people in the audience see. Because if they can see it, and it's recorded into the recording itself, then we have achieved something that is a first for the Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. And by the way, all this time I had my speakers up, and you might have been experiencing horrible echo effect, and I apologize if you did. But I'm going to turn my speakers way up right now, and I'm going to play this video, but first I'm going to share my screen. Did we want to cover those things before we share this? The video?
No, do the video first, and then we'll
okay.
Circle back.
Okay, so here's a video that I did a while back. I've got it on freeze right now, and you can see that okay, I assume. And my speakers are up, and I'm going to actually play the video. This is recorded in Opentest and on an OpenVid software. So you can see that the screen is frozen because I'm not playing the video yet. And then here I am in the little icon in the lower left, and that's what you would see regardless of what we're screen sharing. I chose to screen share myself because that's what I was recording. But I could have been recording a PowerPoint or a website or a project or whatever else that was on my screen, and I could have been recording that. And those are the options that are available in the various tools, and I won't get into that. But all I want to do right now is play the video for 30 seconds and see what everybody in the audience sees. Now, if it doesn't show the video, or if it freezes, or if it lags, I want to know everything like that, because we were discussing this earlier, and we think that people are going to be able to see it, but we don't know what the effect is on the recipient's end. So we really want to know what your experience with this is. So for instance, if I were to formulate some video in advance, and I did not want to repeat it and try to do it live the exact same way I did it in the recording, I could incorporate my recording through the Opentest and OpenVid software facility. And this is what we would get. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Like if I'm in a Hangout and I actually share the screen here, I will assume that it shows what I'm sharing in the Hangout. So that's somewhat handy there. And so I can share within the share. but I'm screen capturing a tab, not the entire a desktop. However, I had the option in 3 seconds flat, and you have to make a decision. You have to reach out and pause the engagement of the where it's turning on. You have virtually three seconds, and in the countdown, if you pause the countdown, then you can reselect whatever it is you want to display.
Okay, so that, I don't know what people got to see in the midst of this, and we'll be asking for feedback from the field to tell us what your experiences were when I showed that video right now. So let's have some fun with it, and you guys tell me what you saw. But if indeed that video played, and of course the sound wasn't good, the sound won't be good because whatever you're picking up is coming over my mic and probably not over my system. But what I'm more concerned with is whether you were able to see the video that I displayed and what kind of quality that it was producing. Okay, WeWake says it was okay, and that's promising in itself. All appeared okay to Belize. Bill Graham is from Belize, so he's a national representative from Belize. Let's see, any other comments going through? And thank you very much. It sounds like it's a feasible thing that we can pursue, and maybe we can turn this into something. So does that open up any eyes for either Molly or Vinay, discovering that the people can see this? And I assume that it'll be recorded too.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing that you're able to share this on a Hangout, because like you mentioned earlier in our green room conversation, you know, sometimes you have something on video. Like, hey, let's watch a video. You know, this has some interesting information, or maybe there's some educational points that you want to bring out on a live Hangout, and to be able to use this tool to use video as a learning tool or to get information out to people. I think that's great. And I'm just on my end, I saw it, heard it just fine. So no problems.
I believe that there's going to be some discretion involved, because what I picture people doing is playing a YouTube video on their screen capturing it in Opentest, and then using that to display to a group in a live broadcast, and which of course is making a copy of something copyright protected and playing it anyway. And I'm sure that that's the wrong thing to do. I would never think of doing something like that, but I know that somebody's going to. So, you know, we'll see whether that is something that we can protect against in the rules of engagement or not. But I think that that's a possibility that we'll have to be looking out for in the future, Vinay.
Right,
Well,
yeah, definitely. I was just gonna say, like, we will. I mean, since we're a C corp, we'll have to comply with any DMCA takedowns. So takedown requests. So if the government reaches out to us and they say, yo, you know, one of your video links has copyright information on it, you have to take it down, or you know, it has some sort of like, you know, undesirable content. I'll let you guys use your imagination. Well, like any other cloud-based service, you know, we'll have to take those links down and potentially ban the account too. But thankfully, we're still pretty young and we haven't run into any issues there yet. But I mean, it'll definitely happen. I mean, no doubt it'll happen. You know.
Yeah, I think you'll have to hire a team of 5 to really focus just on the legalities of the recording. Right. First, you never know. Let's hope you get that big. Let's hope that it happens. Molly, you had something to add? You had a story there?
Yeah, just another story. So about a year ago, one of my fellow top contributors, William Rock, had asked me to help him teach a class about Google nonprofits. And we used Hangouts. And we had a situation where we wanted to share video, but we couldn't. And the video was actually a recording that V. Lynn Hawkins had interviewed myself and one of my clients, the Inventors Assistance League, where we actually talked about their nonprofit and used them as a case study on, you know, how when he came to me, they had nothing. You know, by the time I got done with them, they're getting a 10 to 12,000 hits a month, and they're, their nonprofit was growing. And so that was, that's a real live case study, if you will, of how if we had had that tool, we would have been able to use it to broadcast the case study to a class of MBAs on this is an actual scenario that I encountered where I wasn't able to share a video because it was on YouTube. It was, V-Lynn, she was sharing it on YouTube. And, I could have potentially, if I had that tool at that time, been like, hey, would you mind hopping on a video chat and just explaining to the class about how I was able to take the Google Nonprofits product and help your nonprofit. So I just wanted to use that. And I think one other thing to point out that we haven't talked about is feedback and how we can use this tool to get feedback from users, from social media people, from your network, from other business owners, from your potential leads to regular customers. We can use video to get feedback from people. And that's one of the things that Google is very big on, is getting feedback from people, because when you get feedback from people, that's how you improve as a business. You can improve your products, your services, whatever it is you're doing. And so I think, and the reason I bring this is I was actually on the website, the Opentest website, and one of the questions actually asked, hey, do you have a couple of minutes to answer a few questions for us? And so I think that right there, the fact that you guys are using that on your website to get feedback from people is brilliant. And I just wanted to point that out.
It's a really, really good mechanism. They're getting a lot of feedback, and it's probably the way I communicate with Vinay best. So,
yeah.
Go ahead, Vinay.
Oh, I was going to say, so the feedback, the way our company kind of started was actually in the feedback space. So we actually started, the reason why our company is named Opentest, and it makes absolutely no sense to name a recording technology Opentest, is that we started as this expert network, is what we called it, where we would have kind of earlier stage companies, tech startups, media agencies, digital design firms. They would match up with product experts, which were basically like PMs, designers, people who worked on product at technology companies that could give feedback on technology products. And basically what we would do is we would match these two people up, and the technology expert, would create a recording going through that product and giving feedback on what they could be doing better based on their experiences. And that went pretty well for a while, but we realized that there were a bunch of problems. One is that we had people recording using QuickTime or something that was on their computer, which would create a giant file that they would have to then upload to YouTube or something else, and then or to our servers, and then send it out to that person. And B, would crash pretty frequently because it takes up a lot of system resources. So we ended up building this recording technology in order to actually help people give feedback. And then we learned that these companies wanted to collect this kind of feedback from their own users. And that's kind of that like little widget you see on the bottom left-hand corner of our site. It asks you, like, what do you think about Opentest? And you click like a smiley face, a neutral face, or a sad face. And then it's like, hey, like, if you have some time, could you leave us a video? And what we realized very quickly is that although the video is very useful, you have all of the context you need. Video as a format is great, but you need other things to augment it to make it more consumable. So if you're receiving, thousands of these videos, I think for our main site campaign, which is basically, a bucket of feedback, I think we have like over 2,500 videos on that site right now. And that becomes really unwieldy for people to keep up with and kind of like auto annotate, tag. So one of our visions as a company is to actually, we see it as people started out with text on the internet as a way to express themselves, and then they started using photos. And people still kind of see video as this thing that takes a long time to consume and is something you sit down and prepare for. And I want to bring people into the 20,000th century and just like bring them straight into this place where video is this thing you can consume anywhere, and it's awesome because you have full context. So one of my visions for the company is to really bring people into an era where video is not seen as a cumbersome format and is used as the preferential format to express yourself. And a lot of that will come from like auto annotations, auto transcription, stuff like that, stuff that we're already working on behind the scenes.
Yeah, we already know that video is going to be huge. We've heard it, but we've got the users acclimating themselves to actually digging in and participating in engagement on this level. And so someday we're not going to be the headliners of Hangouts. Hangouts is going to be the originator of a concept where everybody's doing it on a platform, recording it, doing it, as it's going to be the major. It's not going to be cell phones and people doing this anymore. It's going to be sitting in front of their, maybe even their cell phone, but it's all going to be video. They said by 2017, 70% of the consumption online is going to be video related. And this is all pointing that direction. So people blank or get off the pot. It's going, it's coming, and you've got to be a part of it. There's a lot going on. I'm going to give Molly a second in a moment, but I wanted to remind myself because Vinay made a very good point that if people are watching on YouTube, they can't see what's going on in the comment stream. And part of the comments are that Molly brought up that there's a link to the user comments, something around the feedback page where the people make videos with feedback. And I was getting off on that because the people are making their own comments from the field about what they're experiencing in Opentest. So that's something to pursue there. And as they were talking, someone, let's see, oh, thank you for posting that in the comments, Molly. But it's like www.usecases.opentest.co. Now, if you want to go to the Opentest website, make sure you don't put the M on the end of that. Everyone's going to want to write .com. It's not .com, it's .co. So opentest.co.
I wish we had the .com, guys. I wish we had the .com.
Yeah, well, as long as we make it a big deal, it'll be more of an attraction just because it's like, no, you can't go there. It's got to be .co, and that's what will be you'll partially be remembered because of the difficulty of finding your website. But
I actually like the TLD better. I like the top level domain, the .co, better. It's more unique.
Well, yeah. It is, and I think that people are going to be nowadays. It's like that's the thing, the little tag that's going to keep it in people's minds, you know. So anyway, there's that. But there's I've got to find it. There was something that you said in the comment stream that reminded me of something. Maybe I'm gonna miss it altogether now. But you know, we're at the end of the hour. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll be looking for this comment. But Molly, you had a little story or a little something that you wanted to add, and I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Yeah, so Vinay had hit on a sensitive point in terms of people using video. And I have a little story to share that, you know, 3.5 years ago when I started using Hangouts, I was terrified of being on video. A funny story now, I'm a Hangout top contributor, which is all about video conferencing, which is hilarious. So the reason I started using Hangouts is I participate in the Google Partners community where I'm an ambassador. And one of my agreements, I'd sign an agreement say, every 3 months I have to host a Hangout. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get used to video? And I think in terms of this particular product, I think it's a great way to using video to just do, like you say, you know, video is going to be increasing over the next few years. It's going to become more norm versus being this I gotta get camera and I gotta, you know, make sure my makeup's right. And I think where he's going with that, Vinay's going with that, is something like this particular tool, this extension, is going to make it easier for people to make that switch over to using video more, and hopefully the Google Duo app will do that too. I think people get a little bit intimidated, like, oh, I'm on video, is this going to get leaked somewhere or hacked or uploaded somewhere where I don't want it to go, which is one of the things I noticed. All the videos on this particular product are secure. So I think that's one thing to help kind of ease people's minds, is that, it's not going to just be up there in cyberspace somewhere where somebody can.
Perhaps the whole movement with video and mobile and the everything video concept is going to change the face of culture in general, because everybody's going to put on makeup if they need it, and keep their hair combed and dress a bit nicer, maybe take an extra bath per week. You never know. This could become a huge etiquette revolution going on.
But I see a future. I mean, I really honestly see a future where mobile phone users are going to transform the way that they use video on their phone. They really are going to start relying more. Well, it's like, in the Google Partners community, we talk about customer journey, 0 moment of truth, and they're all using video to do this. They use video. I'm near something. I need something near me. I need to, I want to research something. I need an answer to something. I need to find out information about a product. And they're using video, they're using YouTube right now to do that. And I think as we grow as a mobile generation, we're going to rely more and more on video, not only to help research, to help answer questions, but to use it to solve problems, to interact with people socially online, to support products and services that maybe we offer, or to ask questions about products or services that we're interested in buying. And so I definitely see this as being very beneficial. I'm curious to think, how this is going to transform the mobile generation into using more and more video as a regular form of communication.
Absolutely. And I'm going to give Vinay a moment to wrap it up and add anything else that we've missed today. But the thing that I wanted to add was that he made a statement for WeWake. All our videos are downloadable. They're recorded immediately and downloadable. The first image that came to my mind is I could record some kind of a tutorial how-to video and immediately download it, immediately edit it, immediately tag it with my branding and ship it off to somebody in under an hour with the editing, or in 5 minutes if I wasn't critical on the editing. And that is the fastest business production that you can do. So it's adding to email, it's adding to communication, and it's adding to the instantaneous response theory that everyone wants. So
even for that matter, you could text it to somebody. You could take that link and use text to send, hey, here's a problem, here's a solution, let's video chat. And I think the key point to hit here is instant access, just like the internet. So we're talking about something where we want to instantaneously be able to communicate something or get feedback from someone. And it's all going in line with the same concept as the internet. The internet is a huge database of information that we have instant access to get information. And so if we can take that same concept and apply it towards video and use a tool like this to where as we become more comfortable getting on a video, answering questions, or giving feedback, I think that is going to help us evolve as a video/mobile generation.
And that's really what attracted me to Vinay's program here, his app, because it's loaded into my browser. If I want to record something, like right now, I just click that and go. Right. It's instantaneous. So Vinay, I want to give you a chance to, because we're running overtime now, I want to turn it back over to you and let you wrap up anything that you would like to add to what we're presenting.
Definitely.
Sorry, my lip malfunction.
No worries. So I'll answer. There's kind of two different things going on. I'll end with Molly's thing because I have bigger ideas around that. And I'll start with what you were saying, which is like you can download it right away and you can upload to YouTube, which is great. But I think that that kind of workflow falls out of line with what I want to do with our platform. I'm already architecting and working on ways for you to upload this to your YouTube channel, maybe make it private by default so you can edit it later. But as you're recording, it's actually uploading to our stuff as well as YouTube at the same time. So as soon as you're done recording, you automatically have a link to YouTube as well. Is kind of my dream for it on the YouTube front. If you have like a viewership there, you know, being able to offer full video editing capabilities within the browser is something that I've also been thinking about. I mean, I think that tools like Photoshop, tools like Final Cut Pro, all these super heavy tools, there are ways through a discipline of computer science called distributed systems to make this work within your browser. So literally all you're doing is when you're editing the photo or you're editing your video, you're actually just sending commands to a server, which then tells 100 machines to do that at once. So it appears instantaneous to you. I think that we have a long way to go in the cloud space to make fully rich applications that you don't necessarily have to download on your computer if you don't want to. You can just go to the website, and it does things that really blows people away in terms of computing power, because you can always have 100 servers doing something that your one computer could never do in that amount of time. To answer your question, Molly, about like the future of where I see this going, I mean, the way I honestly see it going is, I mean, there's like the super crazy answer that I have, and then there's the kind of less crazy answer that I think people will be able to vibe with more, that I'll touch on. So the less crazy answer is that I see a lot of things going towards virtual reality. I'm keeping in touch with a lot of people in the virtual reality space, and I mean, even Sony right now is already working on a contact lens that will allow you to record and take pictures of anything that you're seeing in real time. So the way that I look at virtual reality is you will always have like an augmented reality of what you see in real life, and hopefully my vision is that you're recording all the time. You have all of your life backed up, your entire life experience, and you could replay that if you want to, and you could pull out what you need to if you want to. And a lot of things are happening on the hardware front that are going to make this possible. Storage is much cheaper. It's only going to get cheaper, and I think that there's just a lot of value. There's a lot of value to be able to extract information from your life. Things like, there's a lot of information that you just lose nowadays through natural conversation. And I think that that's something that will just never happen in the future. And so when I look at the future of this, I see it as like, okay, we're stepping to mobile, but really like the ultimate experience is stepping to recording your entire life and having full control over where that data goes. Whether or not it's seen by other people, whether or not you want to record your entire life is completely up to you. I think most people will end up doing it for various reasons, and that's a completely different episode. But I think that the way I see it is that virtual reality will take over, and people won't be thinking about recording at all. I mean, my hope is that recording and video and experiencing things will just be way different. I mean, you'll be able to experience not just video, full experiences of how people saw things the way they saw them when they did it.
Thank you. A last statement, Molly, because we're way over time.
Yeah, just real quick, I concur with everything you just mentioned. I think video is definitely the way to go. There actually was a movie in the 1990s that was filmed around that concept. I don't remember the name of the movie right now. It escapes me. But I was just thinking, think of the implications if we were able to do that, if we were able to record all the time. We could actually rewind our day and maybe go back to a conversation where we were distracted and go, hey, I need to revisit this conversation because I know there was a lot of information. I didn't pick up on all of it, and kind of go to replay city, if you will, and learn from that. And I'm thinking, what are the implications if people at universities and students and marketers and all these people, all this data that would be generated by recording online. So lots of different concepts. I'm very interested in hearing more about, but I'm not going to take up too much time because we are at time. And thank you very much for showing up this afternoon. I definitely learned a lot.
Yeah,
and I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, go ahead, Vinay.
I was just going to say thank you for having me. I mean, everybody here has been great.
Absolutely. And I would wrap up what we were finishing talking about there. About several years ago, someone asked me, so what's the future of the internet? And I said, well, the future of the internet with communication is everyone's going to be telepathic. And he goes, his kind of brain tweak there goes, doing, I said, well, basically everything is recorded in the universe, in the ether. There is a recording of everything. It's just that we haven't learned how to tap into it. And so right now we're emulating things by using tape recorders, digital recorders, and virtual things and digital machinery, but it's all leading to the point where someday it's all going to be oh, I know. Because because you're translating everything telepathically, and the knowledge base is instantaneous, and then we're going to realize one thing further, that we are all part of the universe, so we knew the answers all along.
100%.
There it is. Oh, thank you for that. I knew there was a reason that I had you on this show today, Vinay. No, the reason I had you on the show is your spirit of openness regarding your platform. You said one time that there's always going to be, or you're going to strive to keep a feature of this product always free. So that
what you see right now will always be free.
Yeah, so I think that is great stuff, and the spirit of that is how we run this program, education-based marketing, and inviting people to participate and learn something that's going to make their lives a little bit better. So with that, unless somebody has something that cannot wait until another day, we're going to sign off from Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties, and I want to thank everybody in the comment stream and watching for participating with us today. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Have a good day.